Hey everyone, Dragon here, and today I'm doing run number 8 of my hardcore Valheim speedrun series. And I just wanted to get right into it. I'm going to skip some of my pleasantries that I usually do, and yeah, it's just kind of a long run. I had some really bad luck with the deers. Few that I did get, I didn't find heads off of, and eventually I got some deer where I got some heads, but it's just ridiculous. Each deer is not a record time in this one. Maybe if I hadn't made my hair so bright, the deer wouldn't spot me. That could be the thing. But as soon as I could get some deer heads, I went to the altar and I fought each deer. Since this isn't a record time, I'm gonna skip through the battle for you guys and just show you some of the highlights. We knocked down a fucking shit ton of trees. Eikthyr just bulldozes the forest. My other video got me thinking, what if I was killed by Eikthyr in real life at a 7-Eleven? That just looks really epic in my mind. There would have to be the lightning and the glowing red eyes, and hopefully it would all be caught on camera. But yeah, I could see myself going out that way. To the god of nature, or whatever he is. Having slain Eikthyr in not record time, actually really slow for me now, I looked for some water on my map, and I spotted a little bit, and I decided not to go that way. Instead, I went to the southeast, where I found some black forest and some meadows and some mountains all next to each other, and it looked very beautiful. I was able to find a village right there in the meadows, right next to the black forest and the mountain, and so I decided to set up here. I figured this run I might go for the long play and go for a motor kill. Even if the mountain has nothing on it, I'm building in meadows right next to a copper vein, so I'm getting black forest materials here. As the new Jarl of this village, I decided to tear down one of the peasants' houses. I may have needed a little bit of firewood, and they may have needed to move. This house also came equipped with a crypt in its backyard. It was within the property line, so I assume it's mine. I spotted a building up on the mountain that looked interesting. I thought it could be used as shelter, but we're not there yet. Having a couple sirloin cores, I went farming some tin since it wasn't easily accessible near my base. I still didn't have enough sirloin cores for a smelter or a kiln though, so I had to do more dungeons on the way back. After clearing that dungeon, I had about 6 sirloin cores, and I was feeling pretty good. Went and killed myself a grey dwarf spawner. I got myself an ancient seed for the elder. And then I found myself another crypt. I was like, hell yeah, I could use myself a smelter and a kiln. I quickly realized that all my gear was broken from the last tomb though, and so I improvised. ninja skeletons came from behind, almost killed me, they cornered me, and shit was real. I had to take a moment and breathe and get my timing right on my blocks. I almost died. And so with that near-death experience, I invoked the rule of fuck it, and I went home. Once arriving home, I realized I didn't have a tanning rack yet, and so I decided to look for water out to the east. And there had to be water pretty close, or at least I hope there was. I really needed some flint to make my tanning rack, and some leather, which means I really needed some open meadows on the waterfront. The flint is so important, I almost drowned for it. See that? Once I was done collecting flint, I started heading back, and I went and found myself a crypt. I was one sirloin core short of my smelter or kiln. So yeah, I needed this. With all the sirloin cores that I needed, mining became a priority now. I needed to push bronze, get my carve, and I wanted a helmet and stuff. I actually had some excess sirloin cores from that last dungeon that I did, so I was able to set up a second kiln. Day 5, I'm still rocking 1 armor class. So I didn't happen to find any of the elder markers in those dungeons that I did, which is odd because I did 3 dungeons, but I did find it on this building. I was really just heading down to grab some core wood so that I could make my fine wood bow. Of course, I needed to find wood first, so I needed that bronze axe. With the bow finished, I started thinking about my carve, so I started thinking about more copper and finishing up mining out this copper vein, and I headed outside. It was just really foggy, and the fog just cleared, and one of those sneaky trolls just snuck up on me and almost one-shot me. Dropped me to 5 health in a pit. I just want you guys to know, if I had died in that pit, I want you to know my grave was huge, alright? When I dig my grave, it's fucking huge. The shaman's poison almost kills me right here. Day 7. I'm feeling a little bit pressured to get to the Elder by now. I'm still not rocking the best armor class, so I decided to mine a little bit more on the copper vein out back, and then I made myself a troll leather tunic, and then I made myself a copper helmet because I don't get the movement speed penalty from the helmet, so I can get the huge armor class buff. And then I made myself some bronze nails for a carve and started heading that way. I had a few extra sirloin cores, so I was able to make some portals, so I have a way back and forth. I'm sitting pretty good. Like, I don't even need a sirloin core farm now, I don't think. And then I found the trader on day 7. Look at that. Since the trader is kind of a trivial record, I'm just gonna keep track of the time when I actually see him first on the map, not when I actually encounter him, because is there really a point in encountering him without the proper money and stuff for your items? I think not. Without anything for the trader, I go and fight the Elder instead. This time I try and use what I learned from melee combat and what I learned from range combat and combine them. I was trying to keep the Elder at a mid-range distance. That way he can't stomp me and I'm not far enough away for him to use his tendrils. What he did end up doing is summoning roots everywhere, and that can really fuck with you when you have a bow and you're not carrying a shield and a melee weapon to kill him. So I figured the obstacles might actually be working against me because of the roots, so I tried leading him out here into the field, thinking it might be better, but he summoned so many roots and it fucked with me. The obstacles out in the field are more random and harder to predict. He came really close to killing me right there. Because of his weird pathing in this area, I was getting really afraid that he'd walk out a little too far and then just tendril me to death when I have no cover at all. So I started rethinking my plan. The roots are keeping me from going up close enough to get him to walk towards me. If I go too far, he's gonna murder me with tendrils. So I kind of went back to the original plan and went to hugging the pillars. Trying to mid-range this guy with a bow is not very fun because of all the roots. Since he can't reach you, he will make roots everywhere, and that'll be the bane of your existence. As you hope that he doesn't walk out of range and just tendrils at you. Once I went back to the OG method and I just was adamant about killing any roots near me, it was fairly cake. I just kept in mind that mid-range wasn't a bad thing, as long as the roots weren't in my way. If I could keep them at mid-range, it's fine, so I didn't have to play the pillars. Well, there you go guys. I got a record on the Elder again. It's not much of a record. It's barely beating my other record. It's alright. I'll take it. I also got a record on the Trader so far. I killed that Elder with 20 armor class and a level 3 Pinewood bow. The Trader was not cutting any deals today, so I didn't have enough money for my thing, even though I sold all my valuables. And so I had to go searching. I found a nearby troll display. Figured he had some gold on him. Also wanted that troll leather so I could get some upgrades. Rounding the top of the swamp, I found a crypt. And that gave me the rest of the valuables I needed for my belt. Now that I had my new belt, I was all about mining, and I wanted to finish up mining up that copper vein. All for that fermenter though, you know. I need that poison resist, I need that frost resist, I need that healing pot, I need it all. Behold, my only next spawn near me. After collecting some neck meat, I used that to make a poison resist mead base and threw it in the fermenter, and then I took the portal back to the trader and I went and got back on my ship and went looking for a swamp. I found one of these turtles, or leviathans as the game calls them, and I could see a swamp on the other side. Upon approaching the swamp, I found 2 crypts, or at least I spotted 2 crypts. And so I decided this is a very good spot to farm some iron. It's not very far away from the base, and I was lucky enough to find 2 crypts close to shore. I thought there might be more than 2 crypts, so I built a cart and I put it on the car. Somewhere in those 2 crypts I found the bone mass location, but I skipped over it when I was editing it, so don't worry about it. I have it, it's to the south. Those 2 crypts were all I could find though, so I just took off afterwards. Doesn't look like my boat's gonna make it, but amazingly it actually does. Upon arriving home, I started up the iron processing plant. The iron allowed me to get my workshop to level 4, which allowed me to upgrade my troll leather to level 2. And then I got myself an iron helmet, and I upgraded that to level 3. I made all sorts of forge improvements. I found a new location to store workshop improvements, right on the roof. Day 17. I need to get to bone mass pretty soon. So I go and jump in my ship with some portal supplies, and I'm gonna go build a portal at bone mass so I can start preparing. I hope to beat my record today, but I'm not gonna jump into something and end up dying. Bone Mass's swamp is full of crypts everywhere. It's pretty insane. You could probably get a lot of iron from here. So I went and built myself a portal to the swamp right next to the altar. I went home and relaxed for a bit. I made myself an iron mace because I needed that to beat him. I think I upgraded it to level 2. And I just mentally prepared for a second. I decided to build a hoe because his altar was in a pool of water, like literally like in the ocean water. So that wasn't very safe to fight in. So I leveled the ground out, made the arena nice, and went and fought Bone Master on day 18. I decided not to build a roof this time and just deal with the rain. I figure everybody else deals with the rain, and it was a mechanic that was meant for this fight, so if you're just rested and you fight the boss properly, you should be able to win despite the rain. Just so you guys know, I am fighting this guy with a level 3 iron power shield, a level 2 iron mace, level 2 troll hide leggings, level 2 troll hide armor, level 4 iron helmet, and level 2 deer hide cape, which comes out to 38 armor class. So yeah, this is very similar to the first time I killed Bone Mass, but I'm not running around frantically. I just used a healing pot right there. I thought I was gonna die. I did the math afterwards here, and I wouldn't have died. I would have been left at like 2 health. But yeah, I really thought I was gonna die right there, and I was happy to have a healing pot on me. Fear blesses my journey from this point on. I want to point out a tactic I'm using right here. I block, but I also walk backwards, like I step out of his range, of his reach. If he lands that blow, he uses up my stamina. If he misses that blow, I can rush him and do all my damage without that lost stamina. So it's actually more beneficial if he misses me. There we go, guys. A very smooth bone mass kill, other than that one hang up where I hit my health pot. It wasn't in record time, at least not my record. But it's fine, that sets me up in a good position to do motor, right? So what I do is I loot this tomb I parked in front of, and then I head back with the goods. I needed that iron for a pickaxe. I had not left myself enough on accident. On the way back, I had the pleasantry of killing some serpent. I needed some vengeance for my fallen brethren in the other episode. And so I murdered this serpent, and he will be my food. He will make me stronger. I also ran right into another serpent. Literally. Right over the top. This serpent didn't really stand a chance. He swam in a fairly straight line and got murdered. Upon making it home, I made myself some serpent stew and some serpent meat and some frost resist mead, and I was ready to check out this little mountain cap. You know, I got 38 armor class, I got a level 3 tower shield. I'd never tried an iron tower shield before, at least for endgame content. I'd always went with the banded one, so I felt pretty OP right now. So I explored the entire mountain cap, and as I was coming back down on the other side, in the last area that I could search for any silver, because there's no silver on this mountain cap, absolutely not even a single piece, my wishbone didn't go off a single time, I ran into 3 wolves. I fucked up a couple times here that I can see. I let my guard down at weird times because I was trying to parry them instead of block them, and I took the brunt of a few different attacks, which is ultimately why I died. It kind of sucked. I walked into this battle with 0 stamina, and the terrain itself was a big issue. Like, I couldn't attack the wolves if they were on terrain that was above me, because my swings will just hit the ground. So, yeah, I don't know, it was a difficult battle. I should have played it a little better. I should have used those skeletons as decoys and actually killed that one wolf that was almost dead. I probably shouldn't go on the mountain at night, you know? Anyway, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next video.